And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
I can't catch a break, guys.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys.
People think, oh, well, cleaning your room, that's just a cliche. It's like, yeah, really, eh? Just go ahead and try it.
If people had any idea how powerful sleep is for healing from anything, and the fact that it's free.
My mind is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock.
Podcast. Alright guys, just here today to me and Chris having a wee chat. Chris just back from his yogi journey in Thailand. He was doing, what is it, 3 or 4 week course?
26 days.
26 days. How many hours
200
was that?
hours.
200 hours of yoga completed over just over 3 weeks, and he's now a certified yoga instructor. So, how did you find the whole experience, Chris?
In one word,
Yeah.
enlightening.
Nice. Alright. Expand on that.
It was really different. Everyone there was really open. They were really openly open.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them thought a lot of really out there things. But the main thing that I thought I got from it was meditation. Meditation is really, really cool. You can meditate on anything, and one of the main skills that we learned when we were doing our yoga course was to meditate on pain and discomfort, and to use pain and discomfort to bring you into the present. And when you do that, you can push through a lot more and like handle pain a lot better.
So when you're in pain, try and meditate. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you have to. One of the seated postures in yoga is Sukhasana, which is not very difficult. It's the easy pose. And then one of the more advanced ones is Padmasana, which is the lotus pose. And one of our instructors was saying that even for people who are fully mobile, fully flexible in the hips, it can still hurt their knees, and they're in pain holding that position. That's why they have the instep of their foot up on the crease of their hip. And they use that, and the reason they go into that pose is because it aligns their spine really well, and the pain helps them bring them into the present.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's the kind of daily setup of it?
So every day we'd get up at 5:30, and we'd go down to either the roof shala, the wood shala, or the sea shala, which is just basically areas we were doing yoga. And we do 3 hours of yoga. So the 3 hours of yoga could entail, like, let's say 10 minutes of meditation at the start, and then we get into our postures. We did a lot of sun salutations in the morning. We had different teachers every morning, and we'd have like 2 sessions before breakfast. So we'd either have Panita, Nick, or Dimitri in the morning. Sometimes we'd have Tanya as well, and we'd do 2 1.5 hour sessions of yoga. After that we'd get breakfast, and then we'd have a lecture for 2 hours, and then after that we'd have another break, and then we'd have another 3 hours of yoga in the evening. And it was intense.
That is a lot of yoga. I've only recently started doing yoga. I was doing I've started doing Jane's classes here on whatever, Monday and Thursday, that's it, sorry. And I love it so far. And then me and Sean went to that hot yoga thing in your
What do you think of hot yoga?
I thought it was great. When I first walked in, I was like, I'm not going to be able to stick this, because it was a 90-minute class, and before she'd even put the fans on, it was hot as balls in there. And then as soon as she started kind of like doing the warm-up or whatever, she put all the fans on, and it was just blasting hot out the whole time. By the end of it, like, your t-shirt and your shorts were weighing you down. I forgot to bring a change of clothes. I didn't think I was going to sweat that much. So I was going on, I had to fucking strip it off in the car park and then get changed into a jumper or something like that. But I thought it was great. It was definitely really difficult. We did something like 26 poses, and then we did the kind of Shavasana meditation thing at the end. I thought it was great.
Was that in Yuri? The same one?
Yeah, I'm not actually sure I think it's just called Hot Yoga, isn't it? The building.
I'm not sure, but did you notice that, see when you were doing Shavasana, did everyone get up and leave and talk throughout it?
Yeah. Well, not that they talked throughout it, but how long would a typical Shavasana kind of be?
So
at your thing?
Minimum like 10 minutes. It should be 10 minutes at least.
Well, whatever way this class worked, I think there was like 5 minutes of that, and then I was lying there, and then I did hear rustling, and I thought it might have been her cleaning up, whatever. But then apparently, like, once the Shavasana starts, you're kind of free to go, whenever, sort of thing.
When we were doing our yoga course, that wasn't really the thing. Like Shavasana was like coveted. It was like can't wait for Shavasana, and everyone was trying to get the most out of it. Shavasana, for anyone who doesn't know, is just after you do all your poses, after you get really loose and warm, you just lay down on your back and just like relax, close your eyes and meditate. After you loosen yourself up, it's a different kind of meditation.
I've never felt relaxation like that.
Yeah, it's different.
Like literally the whole class, it's so tough, and you're sweating so much, and then you're just like, oh, if I make it through this, I get to do the Shavasana, and it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah,
and then
it's such a relief after, because it's like you don't have to do anything after trying so hard for all the poses and really trying to get the most out of your session. But you need it as well, because when you relax, all the instructors that were teaching us were saying that like you need Shavasana to absorb your practice. So it's like, and you use it to meditate on your practice. And after you relax like that, there, I don't know the science behind it, but apparently it's like your body will allow for quicker adaptation with the Shavasanas and without the Shavasanas.
That's interesting. I like when you're doing it, I honestly feel like your body just melts into the floor.
Yeah,
like,
it's really common to dream and fall asleep. And
in a few of Jen's classes, I have actually fallen asleep,
Yeah.
and I can hear them I come to and I can hear them kind of talking about me being asleep, and I'm like, no, I fell asleep and I have to get up again. But I'm loving it so far.
What are your thoughts on meditation?
Well, when I do it, it's great, but I have a habit of being like, a lot of people probably have this habit, like actually sitting down to do it.
Yeah,
is the hardest part. Once you're doing it, it's fine, and then when it's done, you feel the benefits, but it's the actual slowing down, putting the time together to actually sit down and do it.
Yeah, I find it's really easy to miss and to skip. Like, it's only 10 minutes. I can do it later, or I'll leave it for the next day. But when you do it, you notice a big difference. I find anyway.
I did it. I think like I would not be a regular meditator, but like I did do it at one stage for like a week or two in a row. Every morning when I woke up, I put on my little whiteboard in my room that I had. I was doing the Headspace. The Headspace is a meditation app that you can get for Android and iPhone. It's kind of, there's like for a little free kind of like 5-minute meditation talks, and then I think you can pay for it after that. But I felt my whole day was kind of, I felt more loose. I kind of planned the day better. Everything just kind of went smoother.
I find it makes you way less reactive. Do you know, like throughout your day, I like to think of it as like your dog on a leash is like looking to run away.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking to pull on the leash the whole time. And then when you meditate, it's instead of being the dog on the leash, you're like the owner, and you're just like right there, and you don't have to like if you're gonna get mad at something or anything like that, there, instead of jumping at it, it's like you can see yourself get mad and diffuse it in your own head before you even do anything.
Yeah,
do you know, it gives you that extra space.
Yeah, I do get that whole like, you don't feel that mad rush to like. I feel like when I was doing the meditation, like anything I had to do for the day, it was just like, alright, I have these things to do, I'm just going to go through the day, they'll all get done, I'm not going to be like, I've got to do everything, and then they did all get done, and I was in bed sleeping soundly.
Yeah, I find it more content as well.
Oh yeah, like any time, any chance that you get to sit down and breathe, you should definitely take it. I need to take my own advice here, because I don't do it that often, but that anxiety, we have a private joke that I can't breathe properly, so we have this little breath thing that everybody does whenever they're making fun of me, so thanks for that one, guys.
Let's go to boxing.
Brandon
was fighting today.
Yeah, Coach Brandon Mulligan fighting in the All-Ireland today after what?
2 weeks?
2 weeks notice, or I think it was even like 9 or 10 days notice. Unfortunately, we weren't there because we're at work right now, but unfortunately didn't get the win. But it just goes to show, like, even if you're a good boxer like Brandon is, he's the current Leinster champion, but he was obviously out of practice for a little bit.
You know, you can get rusty so quick.
Exactly.
In boxing there's a concept called sharpness, and you get sharpness from sparring and pad work and drills. And if you haven't been doing your sparring, you haven't been doing your pad work, you haven't been doing your drills, and you don't have like rounds clocked, you know, like runners do miles, like
the time
rounds. You need rounds. You need rounds under your belt to get used to throwing to 3 minutes, so you don't blow yourself out, and you know what energy you have for that time, and you get more conditioned for it. But Brian just didn't. He said he just didn't have the sharpness because he didn't have the practice in. So
he said he faded in the 3rd round as well.
Yeah, which is really strange for Brandon, because Brandon's a nearly a marathon runner.
The man can run all day, but it just goes to show.
What's his time for a half marathon? 1:30.
Less. It was like 1:27 or something like that.
Yeah, so like again to do that, like you need pretty good aerobic capacity. But unfortunately, like he's probably using different energy systems and tried to get dragged into a fight.
As far as fitness goes, Brandon is probably the fittest person that I know in real life. But it just goes to show that the work beats talent if you don't work.
Yeah.
Was it hard work beats talent if the talent doesn't work? Something like that. Doesn't work hard. Sorry, there you go. What about yourself? What sort of do you have any aspirations to get back into boxing?
I do. There's always that little niggle in the back of my mind to get back into it. I made a conscious decision not to get into it this year because I was going to do the yoga and all that sort of stuff. My goal for the rest of the year is to get mobile and really work on yoga. But the reason I want to get mobile is so I have less injuries and I can box better and I can do jiu-jitsu and I want to get back into mixed martial arts as well. That's the end goal. That's kind of why Brandon did the whole mobility thing as well, getting injured in fights, and then he took nearly the whole year. Yeah. Brandon kind of did similar to you the last year. You all did a lot of mobility work rather than boxing training. But I remember you put a video up when you were in Thailand saying that the yoga was making you feel looser and you're doing some shadow boxing. Oh, my story! Yeah, it felt so fast. Did you see that video? I honestly thought like I had lightning in my hands or something. It was weird. It was like just like mobility is so good because it just makes movement so much easier. Yeah. Like if you're stiff, like and you go to bend over, you know how much effort it takes to like move into different positions if you're stiff. Like if you go to your end range in your shoulder and you try and go further, it takes so much effort to get each millimeter further. But if you're loose, it's like it requires no effort at all. So like you just move and it's like it feels good to move rather than being effortful. Do you get me? Yeah, it's kind of like a rusty bike or whatever. Yeah, you just it's hard work to move a bike, but if you take care of it, you can have it for life. Yeah. Even Brandon, he changed his name to the movement coach on Instagram. He's been getting on everybody, all the members, all the coaches about mobility for the last, I don't know, maybe a year. And I've taken some of his tips on board. Like especially the one thing I noticed the most was with my deadlift. I think I wouldn't say perfected, but I think I've made my deadlift close to perfect. And I was able to up my weight by a 30-40 kgs with perfect technique rather than that kind of, you let that lower back kind of pop out and then towards the top of the rep the upper back starts running a little bit. Now it's just kind of start with the lower weights, bang out the good reps, perfect technique, and you're able to build on that with your good mobility. Why do you think mobility is so important? Sure, you only have one body. Like if you don't use it properly, if you don't it's like with anything. If you don't take care of it, you're gonna lose it. The whole saying, like, use it or lose it. Like if you don't take care of your shoulder mobility, if you don't take care of your hip mobility, after a while your hips and your shoulders are just gonna go, alright, fuck this, I'm done. So did it say in the book in Supple Leopard how long your joints are supposed to last? 110 years, wasn't it? Something like that. 110 years. It's like, so if you're wearing your joints out before that, it was like, oh, so your knees were meant, I saw a quote and it was like, oh, your knees were meant to last 110 years, but you've blown them out in 20 or something like that. It's like, what are you doing wrong? Terrible squats. You might be able to lift heavy weight, but doesn't mean you're doing it properly. I'd rather do a 100 kg deadlift with a perfect form than do a 500 kg deadlift and then pull every muscle in my back out. Just like pop your spine. Yeah, literally. If I try to do a 500 kg deadlift, every disc in my spine would just go pop, 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 and I die. Better here. What do you think the hardest place is to mobilize for you? I have to kind of move. I mean, I'm tight as all hell from my workouts last few days. Gotten back into it. Probably my elbow mobility when we were doing. Remember we did our Olympic lifting courses for my elbow mobility for your clean and jerk was like, that's not great. Yeah, your hands aren't even on your shoulders yet. Yeah. Like that's only a warm up stretch and that's difficult. Probably my elbow mobility or elbow and shoulder. That kind of my upper body mobility more so than I think with Brandon's help. I think my hip mobility's gotten much better. My knees, all that sort of stuff. Lower body's pretty good. I need to improve my upper body. I think the hips are the worst. I just think I've gotten much better on my hips in the last while. My from doing the yoga course, my hips and my hamstrings are just so tight. They're so really tight. It's so painful to stretch them. Like there's this yoga position called the frog, and you're basically down into like you go into all fours but with wide knees, and then you put the arch of your foot like on the ground, so your toes are pointing out and your heels on the ground, and you just stick your butt back. And if you've tight hips, like
pulls it right at the inside of your hip flexors. I do know that one. We've done it for the stretch in class a few times. What is it? It's that's in the limber 11 as well. That Joe DeFranco video. It's kind of you push back, try to hold for like 3 seconds, bring it forward. That one is
awful.
I don't even do it in class anymore because it was a bit advanced for some of the people. But even that pigeon stretch, a lot of people struggle with that.
I tried doing the thing where you just step into a lunge, rest on the ground, turn back, grab the instep of your foot, and stretch out your quad, extend your hips, and like it. Very 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 few people could grab their own foot,
their own toe.
Yeah, I think it's a weakness in the hamstring in terms of like end range strength, and I think it's also just lack of being able to rotate the torso.
Yeah, actually, I think I've been lucky that without much work that I'd be mobile enough. Like one of the members said to me the other day that I was very mobile for a man.
Well, actually, I heard that. See, in the yoga course, I heard that a lot. It's like, oh no, you're actually really mobile for a man. I was like,
what's wrong with men?
What's that supposed to mean?
You being sexist?
No, but typically women are naturally more limber than men.
But we're trying this one at yoga, a hot yoga the other day, where you're on your belly, and you had to lift your chest up and put your eyes to the ceiling, and then at the same time grab your toes and lift your knees off the floor.
The bow pose.
Yeah, so you're basically, if you can imagine, if you've ever kind of tried to step on a spider or something, and it just curls up its legs up into like a little sphere. That's what it's trying to make it. And my quads felt like they were about to rip off my knees.
Did you grab your feet?
Yeah, I was able to do it, but it was extremely tough. I could only hold it for a few seconds.
For the first 2 weeks of the course, I couldn't do bow pose. I could grab one leg, and I couldn't grab the other one. I couldn't reach around, and every time I try and tense up my hamstring to pull my knee closer and turn, my back would spasm and my hamstrings would spasm, and then my glutes would lose my glutes after that.
My main thing was my quads kind of coming off my knee, sort of thing. There was another one kind of weird where kneeling like on the knees, like with the torso up tall, and we had to look back and then grab our toes from that position. So basically bend your back, and it took me to like the second round to get that. And then when I was back there, I was like, oh god.
How nervous are you when you're leaning back?
I'm leaning back and I'm like, I was reaching for my toes and I couldn't feel them, and I was like, it took me to the first time I didn't get it. The instructor was just like, just stay there.
Yeah.
And then the second time I eventually grabbed them, but that was extremely tough. I was panicking even when I was in that position because I thought my knees were gonna pop out or something.
Yeah, that's quad stretches are scary. Quad stretches.
Because I've never had the best knees, but I feel like I'm scared doing like real heavy squats just in case my quads just rip off my knees or something. I'm just waiting for that, and I just feel them roll up your leg. I've never seen it happen in person, but did you ever see them kind of leg extension videos where they're extending like 1,000 kgs?
Leg press, yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, they extend like 1,000 kg.
And it just comes back.
Lock out the knees, and then they both just go out to the sides. 1,000 kg falls on you, and you're basically paralyzed from the hips down.
That's not nice.
That's probably about 10 surgeries.
So on that note, one of the principles that really surprised me in yoga was this term called ahimsa. It's one of the yamas, which is one of the 8 limbs on the path of yoga. And ahimsa means non-violence. But the way it was framed to us when we were in the course was it was like non-violence to yourself. So like, see, one of the things that I found when I was doing the yoga course, like I wanted to do the yoga course, get the most out of it, and like literally try as hard as I possibly could. And I found that the more you try in some of the poses, like the more you force yourself into it, the more like you get in your own way. And like the whole principle for ahimsa or non-violence to yourself actually lets you progress more quickly. Do you get me? Like,
don't try to go too much too soon, sort of thing.
And when you do that, you can try more, if that makes sense. Like it allows you to progress more quickly.
Do you like even do half movement more times than trying to get the full movement at once?
So like one of the things, like if you think about the forward fold, you know what forward fold is, right? You go to the forward fold. If you're tightening your hamstrings, you'll know all about it. But
trying to get your chest on your knees.
Bend your knees as much as you can, lay your belly on your thighs, and then start pushing through your heels, right? And let your crown of your head come down. And now it's like
you can push your heels at 100%, and your hamstrings will tighten up, your quads will tighten up, and everyone will get tight, and you're fighting against your own strength. Okay, but you have to relax and push at the same time, and don't hurt. If you go to hurt yourself, your nervous system will almost go like, whoa, wait up. And
That's when your muscles kind of get that. When you're trying to strengthen your hamstrings and they're real tight, your muscles kind of get that. What's it called?
Yeah, where it starts to
kind of like, it's not a spasm, but your whole leg just
trembles.
starts trembling. That's it. You're like it's twitching.
Yeah, man, that happened to me so much in the course. See, every single downward dog, my legs are going. I go to that point. Like every single time you're doing yoga, just try and get to the edge. Again, if you're not feeling it, you just do the movements and give yourself a pat on the back for just doing it. But if when you're doing yoga, and you're doing a good section, always go to the edge of your range of motion. Always just go to that edge, feel the stretch, and really, really try and lengthen it out. But don't try and push past it too quickly and hurt yourself. You don't need to feel pain. One of the things that not that you don't need to feel pain. One of the conflicting things that I heard on the course actually was a couple of the yoga teachers were saying stuff like, no, it shouldn't be uncomfortable. It should actually be 100% comfortable. You shouldn't be in any pain whatsoever. And two of the other ones were like, no, you got to meditate in the pain. And it's like, no, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're not in the position until it's uncomfortable. But it's like, it shouldn't be painful, but it should be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what you say in class. Like when you're stretching or you're doing your reps, like you should be struggling to get the reps in, but it shouldn't be sore. Your muscles just should what's that thing like? Your muscles should be like, oh, we want to stop soon, rather than oh, we have to stop now. Sort of thing.
Yeah, get that fatiguing. But yoga's really cool just for relaxing. I see when I was doing the yoga course, I feel it now since I'm back in Western society and all that jazz. I'm doing work and I have responsibilities and all now. But it's a big difference in just how at ease I am. When I was over there, when I was doing yoga, every morning, getting up early, it's like you just walk leaning back, with your shoulders back, just relax, you're super chill. You're just grateful for stuff naturally. It's a completely different mindset when you do yoga religiously.
Have you noticed that your kind of stress has crept back in?
Yeah. It's not I'm aware of it, whereas before I was completely unconscious to it. Do you get me? You don't know. A lot of people are unaware. They know they're stressed, but they don't know how stressed they are, or they know they don't even notice that. I'm sure for a lot of people listening here, if I say depress your shoulders, roll your shoulders back now, they'll all be able to do it because their shoulders aren't back.
We're both sitting here like this, round the shoulders.
Yeah. Or one is their jaws clenched.
I pull my teeth together whenever I'm not speaking.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Do you get me? But if it's clenched the whole time, it's probably because you're over caffeinated or overstimulated, or stressed.
Yeah.
And
even Stephen said when he was over there, he was like, I didn't think I was stressed before I left. I thought everything was going good, and then I got there and I realized that how stressed I actually was because it was completely chill. It was 0% stress.
Yeah.
So even people in their daily lives that think they're not stressed are probably at some percentage of stress most of the
But everyone's stressed. Stress is good as well. I'm not all against stress.
pressure and stress creates diamonds.
Yeah.
What is that? A coal?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
I think it's cool.
It's lava. I don't know. Lava, coal, magma, something like that.
We're not geologists.
Yeah, I did geography for the Leaving Cert, but I'm finished school 5 years now.
So I want to talk to you about boxing. I want to know what you think about boxing, how you're progressing, and your ambitions.
To be honest, I don't think I've really progressed extremely because I'm not consistent with it. I just use it as a form of, most of the time I've just used it as a form of cardio. But I do find I had a few I was doing boxing PTs with you there 6 or 8 months ago, or it might have even been a year ago now at this stage, and I felt like I was getting much better when I was doing it consistently. It is a sport that you can't half-ass, even with Brandon. Brandon's a good boxer, but he lost today because he wasn't training consistently.
Yeah, well, no, he wasn't boxing consistently.
Yeah, sorry, but he wasn't boxing specific training.
Brandon trains very, very consistently.
That's not fair to say. Brandon trains harder than all of us, but just lately it wasn't boxing specific training. But I found if you don't like you said, if you don't put any hours, you're not gonna get better. You're just gonna I know what to do. I know the basics. I'm a boxing instructor. I can take boxing classes, but I'm not a
fighter yet.
I'm not a fighter yet. I'm a boxer. I'm not a fighter. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what the basics are. You know what the fundamentals are.
Yeah, if put me in a ring, I would know what to do. Not to say I would win, but I'd know what to do. Even in the white collar last year, I thought the spar and all that definitely brought everybody along extremely much. And like that's a year ago this week. I thought everybody, even in the 10 weeks, like you see a lot of kind of white collars that happen. Like they do a little bit of training and then it's kind of you see them on the day and it's nothing's really. It's basically just kind of watching a fight in the street. But I just think I like our white collar events because we have like 4 boxing coaches that have been in the ring. They've fought the best fighters in the country and they know how to box. It's like, and we also have the Clan Neva coaches as well, like Jim and Jer and all that. I just think we've put a lot more effort into the training side of the white collar than other people have, and you see that on the night as well.
What do you think of sparring? Well, like personally, when you were sparring, how did you find it? Any like things that you had to overcome, or any moments that where you actually shined where you thought you wouldn't?
Overcoming is like it's a simple thing to say. You need to get used to being hit in the face. That's the first thing.
Do you remember the first time you got punched in the face?
In the
white collar.
Oh right, yeah, in the white collar. I don't. Do you mean like in the fight or in the training?
In the training.
I don't remember the first time I got punched in the face it's just kind of. It's not that it's sore. You're not like, ow, that was sore. You're just kind of. If you're getting punched multiple times, you just kind of you have to learn to not do that old blink and flinch thing when you're getting punched. Because like, I feel like a lot of people when they're sparring, they go to punch, they kind of close their eyes and lean back, sort of thing. Because they're like, I want to punch, but I don't want to get hit. Obviously, well, that is obviously the aim of boxing. But
it's really funny how confident people are about fighting it when they don't know how to fight.
Yeah. Like it's like they say like a non-boxer is a better fighter than a novice boxer.
Yeah.
Or is a more dangerous fighter than a novice boxer, because they say like the skill level you start at baseline, you dip below baseline when you're learning how to actually do everything properly, and then you get the increase.
Yeah. One of the reasons for that is because you're learning all these new skills that you don't actually have into muscle memory yet. So like for someone who doesn't have any like skills, they just want to swing and they're aggressive, they'll beat someone who's trying to throwing 1-2 and doing a 1-2 badly. Do you get me? And like just trying to figure it out, because
someone who's being mindful in the ring that's trying to learn is going to lose to someone that's just coming out swinging for them.
Yeah,
unless they've got great cardio and they know how to run.
No, and they can block, because like it's hard to avoid someone trying to punch you in the face. Like
definitely,
it's
especially when they're coming with them overhand rights every single time.
Yeah.
I do remember on saying the whole getting punched in the face thing. I do remember we were sparring Jamie Mackin, is it? Jamie's about a metre taller than me, and Stephen put me in sparring him. And Jamie's a good he's a good boxer.
I heard he was a tough lad.
I've heard, yes. Stephen said that he was very tough when they were back in school. Well, I'm sure he's still very tough because he won in his fight in the white collar last year. But
yeah, fair play. That was a good fight.
Yeah. I sparred Jamie, and I just remember one particular punch. Whatever way, I must have left my left cheek open. He hit me so hard that I was seeing dots for about 5 minutes.
So you got the whole seeing stars experience.
Yeah, I did.
How cool is that? How weird is it?
I was just so confused.
Yeah.
But Stephen said that in a fight that would have been counted as a standing count.
Yeah. If you're hit clean and the head snaps back, it's like...
Yeah. Like, I continued the round and we finished or whatever. Because I was like, I'm out of here, I'm done, I need a break. And Stephen was like, no, you have to keep going, that's a standing count, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, hands up, recompose yourself.
Yeah, basically, and there's me near out in my feet. But I'm glad that I had that experience. I know I don't want it to happen again, so I'm going to train harder to get there.
Did you find yourself getting to the point where you're starting to bluff the opponent, like when you're hurt? Did you get hurt in the ring and then try and bluff it through and like make sure that the other person didn't know you were hurt? Because that's one of the like. It's
one thing saying you want to do that, but once you're absolute, not that I got hurt, but in the last round, well, I fought Mick Mulholland, and Mick, absolute beast, the silverback. I could see I was looking at him in the third round, he was looking at me, and I could see the two of us we were fucked. Both of us just throwing jabs like that. I have a longer reach, so I was able to kind of keep Mick off of my jab, but Mick was there. Like Mick is a guy, he's a strong man, and he was coming forward.
He's tough as well.
Mick is very tough.
He tore his bicep. He tore his bicep in the fight, and like no one knew until after the fight.
Yeah, like that's what you were like. Is just what you mentioned there. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just, I
No
was
one
just,
knew. No one
I
knew.
was just like, I was just looking at Mick and I was going, all right, Mick's tired.
But imagine how much more confident you would have felt if you knew
If
like,
you
tore his
start-
bicep.
Yeah.
If you knew he tore his bicep.
Probably would have started punching him in the arm.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, see, when you get hurt in boxing, if you show that you're really, really hurt, like the other person's going to smell blood and they're going to go for it.
Like a shark.
Yeah, there's a really cool thing. If you look it up on YouTube, I don't know what to look up specifically, but there's a really, really knockout in the sea where one guy gets a liver shot and he pretends to go down to one knee, or maybe I don't even know if I think he was actually hurt, but he goes down to one knee, blocks the shot, and then out of nowhere, your man chases him to try and finish the job, and then just he sees your man chases out of nowhere, throws an overhand, and just clocks your man on the way and knocks him out, and then he wins the fight. And like your man drops to his knee because he's hit. It's mixed martial arts. It's not boxing.
I haven't seen that one, but I did. The liver shot is a killer. I saw one a couple months ago. Somebody got ripped with a liver shot, and then that's the sort of shot that you don't feel it for like a second.
Yeah.
So he got ripped with the shot. He put his hands back up, and then he just dropped.
Yeah.
There was like a 2-second difference, and then he just fell, and that was it.
Did you ever get a liver shot?
I've gotten shots to the liver that have put me to my knee, and like have made me almost not be able to breathe. It's like it takes every bit of air out of your whole body, and that was only inspiring. Unfortunately, I was able to protect myself pretty well in the ring, but again in the actual fight. But it's not fun.
How cool is it that people let you fight? Like in a ring, if you say I'm going to do boxing, they'll literally let you punch people in the face. How cool is that? That's so fun.
As long as the other person wants it to happen.
Yeah, obviously. Well, they're not going to want to get punched in the head, but.
Yeah, I thought it was great. The whole white collar experience was definitely something that I recommend everybody to do. Hopefully, I'm going to enter the novices next year. I don't know when that is. I think because it's always announced very late, but it was September this year, so hopefully it'll be September next year, and I get a good 10 months training under my belt, and then go for it and see what happens from there. Like, obviously it's a little bit late to become an intermediate or a senior boxer starting at it like 20. Haven't said that there is, Anthony Joshua started when he was like 18. Like, there is a few people that if you're willing to work at it, you can be good, but it would be difficult. But I would be able to just get to have a novice championship, just because you, Brandon, Stephen, use all of your championships, or like you all medals. Like, I don't have a medal, and I'm working here. I want to be one of you guys. I want to have a medal. So that's my motivation to get my novice championship. What about you? Are you going to go back next year? Are you going to get more into the MMA or what?
Well, one of the things that really bugs me about the Irish boxing is sort of what do you call it, structure, or like the governing body. Like, they don't let, if you are doing any other martial art, they won't let you fight.
So if they were to find out you were doing that, you wouldn't be able to fight?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to box.
Competitive?
Train? I could train, and obviously I could train and stuff like that there. I could train boxing whenever I want. But like, if I have like a mixed martial arts fight, or I'm competing in jiu-jitsu, I'm not sure if grappling counts. But I think any other martial art, if you're competing in any other martial art, you're not allowed to box.
That's silly.
Yeah.
Sure, like there's professional MMA fighters that still box and have kickboxing fights and and sure, like John Jones has grappling competitions as well, and he's a mixed martial artist.
Well, I think it'd be good for everyone. I think the standard will go up something serious. I think there's a big shift in fighting in Ireland to going towards mixed martial arts. I'm not saying it's 100% there yet, but I think a lot of people are leaving boxing and going to mixed martial arts.
Love him or hate him, I think that's down to Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Like, the uptake of MMA in Ireland since he became famous is probably tenfold.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's probably worldwide as well.
What do you think, McGregor?
Oh, like, when you hear all these allegations of, sexual assault and, battery in the pub and smashing the phone and all that, like, it makes you think of, like, there's just the old story of, like, money ruined him sort of thing. But, like, you have to think, was he like that all along, and then the money just made it public?
There's a cool saying Stephen told me before. I don't know where he heard it, but it's money makes you more of who you are. If you're let's say if you're a drug addict or anything like that, there it's like, and you come into a lot of money, it's like you might be dead next week because the only thing that would have been limiting you was your capability to buy your amount.
Yeah, what was that movie? Yeah, like remember that movie with the where you once you hit 25, you had to pay for everything in time or you died.
Oh yes. What was that called?
In time or something
Something like that.
Time?
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. But he came in. He bet some like real rich man money or something. And he won like 100,000 years or something. And he gave one of his friends like 10,000 years or something, or 1,000 years or something like that. And then he died of an overdose.
So
like
sad.
a week later, because he just spent all his years on cocaine or whatever it was. But
That's such a cool idea that time turns into a commodity. That's like the most common one.
it is crazy. Like, and that movie, if that was possible, I think the government would do it.
That's not going to conspiracies.
I don't even know, like, but anyway, we're going off topic here. But anyway, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up now shortly enough. Do you have anything else you want to discuss, Chris?
Yeah. For everyone listening, stand up straight, shoulders back.
Right now, roll your shoulders back, because even literally as Chris said that, I was like, oh right, I do need to sit up straight.
Yeah, cool thing to do. If you're ever just talking to a group of people and you notice their posture, just mention posture or mention something about standing up straight. Not what I tell anyone to do, just watch everyone just stand up straighter. It's really funny.
And then just on that, made me think when I was reading in my book How to Become a Supple Leopard yesterday. Basically, if you notice that you're in a slouched position in a chair, it's better to stand up, reset, and sit down with a good posture than try to straighten up on the chair. Because more than likely, you're not actually straightening up, you're just overextending your spine, and then that's not going to do any good either. So if you ever notice that you're slouched over in a chair, stand up, pull your shoulders back, and kind of squat down into your chair and maintain that position from there. That's wee tip that I learned yesterday.
There you go.
Thanks for listening, guys. That's Chris's yoga journey, everybody else's boxing journey, and I can't remember what else we talked about, but it was a great wee chat. See you in the next one, guys.
Namaste, folks.